Just talking musicals with you.
So you went from working on Oklahoma to, then you branched out on your own, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's where you took your leap.
That was hard to say to Stro, I don't want to assist anymore.
Because she wanted you to keep working with her.
Yeah. But I just didn't want to be known as, I mean, it's an honour to be known, but I just didn't want to be known as Stro's assistant. I wanted to do something.
Yeah.
And I thought it could either backfire terribly and I'll never work. And but luckily, somebody was smiling down on me.
And so what was the first show?
Trying to think what the first... I'd been doing like reps and
Yeah.
things. The first show that came into the West End was Soul Train. Started off as Grapevine at Derby Playhouse. And that came into the West End as Soul Train, as part of the tour.
And that was nominated?
My first nomination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was an Olivier.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
At that point then you thought, oh, well, okay,
Yeah,
I
thought,
know,
right,
I can do
I'm
this.
Gonna really, yeah, and it doesn't make you any better, but it puts you on the map.
Yeah. So what kind for anybody who doesn't know about Soul Train, what's the story behind Soul Train?
It was just all Motown. It was a jukebox musical.
Yeah.
But it was all the Motown stuff, which is my music. I love the music. I watched all those old videos of all the groups.
Oh, that must have been fantastic.
It was, but the funny thing is, I made it really slick. Some of them weren't very slick if you watch those old things, but it's just beautiful music. We had sections like Love on Soul, all different sections, and it was just beautiful show.
And because something like that has got to look spontaneous, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were, it was a black cast, complete black cast.
Yeah.
Amazing. Voices, they were just fabulous.
So were they cast primarily as singers who were prepared to have a go at dancing?
Yeah, but most of them were triple threats.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing about the triple threat these days, which is bringing me on to my our discussion about colleges that I'm fascinated with. Because when I was a girl, if you had a good singing voice, you were known as, you could just about get away with going to auditions and singing beautifully and having a half a chance at getting somewhere. And that was a very long time ago. And then as I was going through the auditions through the years, it's suddenly, no, you've got to be able to dance, you've got to be able to act. And, it doesn't matter how good your singing voice is, if you can't bring the other two with you, then you haven't got a hope. And that I'm really pleased that that's what it's like now, because it really has brought up the quality, hasn't it?
America was doing it before we were.
Oh, yeah.
And so, when I was in Evita, I was a dancer. Then we had our singers, and then your principal. Then 42nd Street came, where we did everything. So we had to, And now colleges are amazing. And some of the techniques being taught are fantastic. So we're getting loads of triple threats now, big quadruple threats with people that play instruments as well.
Oh gosh, and that's just so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And the Watermill at Newbury, that when you go and see something at the Watermill, oh my God, it's just amazing. And you think, well, where's the band? And they're on the stage and they just pick up an instrument and start playing.
I always love them because your leading lady, who obviously can't play a lot, has normally got a tambourine or a triangle.
Yeah.
That always makes me laugh.
Yes, often giving a singer, even though I'm a singer, something that's rhythm attached to it is a bit frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, when are they going to ding the triangle? But that's really exciting. The triple threat aspect, I think, is amazing.
Yeah, I've had people, what drives me mad is if an actor comes in an audition and says, I'm an actor, I'm not a singer or a dancer, I kind of always want to go, you've come in for a musical, unless you're doing Les Mis or Phantom. And also, if they come in and say, you know what, I'm not the best dancer in the world, but I really enjoy it. That's like music to my ears, and then you'll give them time. But there's something when they say that, it just rubs me up the wrong way, really, when they're auditioning for a musical.
Well, it's very old school, isn't it?
Yeah,
people saying, which sort of ties in with what I was saying earlier. Yeah,
well, we used to say it.
Yeah. Yes, dancers never wanted to sing, did they?
No. And that's why I made myself sing.
Yeah. And also the colleges didn't always work towards singing lessons as well as if it was a strong dance school, there would be, say, 1 hour a week singing in groups.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'd end up with a lot of dancers I remember being at an audition once and I just failed miserably in the audition. I had been a complete embarrassment. But when it came for everybody, the dancers who were phenomenal to have to sing, they were all like
the other
I
way
was.
around.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm not saying you have to be brilliant at all three. You've just got to be able to have a go and be able to do it well.
Yeah.
You know, Poppins, we give an actor's movement call. So we do separate them.
Yeah.
But you don't know where they are on that stage
No.
when we do the numbers. We've really mixed them in.
And I
quite
think
well.
it's a mindset as well that has come up from teaching in the last 20 years, I would say, that 15 to 20 years, that if you get somebody young enough and tell them it's perfectly natural for them to be a triple threat at least, then they'll go and do it. I've sort of done a little experiments with 8-year-olds that I've taught, and they're now doing fantastically, 10 years down the line.
There's
they're a
so
triple
much
threat.
talent coming through now.
Yeah.
Amazing talent.
So this brings us to colleges and young talent and supporting colleges. And you're a patron of Lane, of here, the Brighton Academy. And I'm trying to think, I've lost, there was
Birds, birds.
president.
Birds. But the thing is, I think it's so important as a choreographer, director, anybody, to know what's coming out of colleges.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them, when I've done these Q&As, they've said, do you think we'll get work because there's not much work, and all the old ones that have been out there for years? And I said no, because we always look for new talent. So, you know, I just like to inspire them, and I really wanted to inspire them while we're in this lockdown. You know, it will come back. Just prepare yourself when you go out, that you've got all your songs, everything's there to do.
So what's your advice to somebody that's a young performer now? Who are out of work, they've been out of work for about a year, they graduated last year in the midst of all of this, and we've just had this conversation about put something on Twitter, just to put a clip of you on. What is it? You can't try and be something you're not, can you? You can't. What is it it's just doing your thing well, isn't it?
Putting those things on Twitter and Instagram are good and can be bad.
Yeah.
I always say, make sure you show it to someone. Don't think, I look great there, and then, you crack on a note and it's there forever.
Yeah.
But I have been finding so many people on Instagram that have got fabulous talents that I didn't know about. So it's there, and it has helped big time during lockdown.
I think that's a terrific thing. I saw at some point during the last year on social media, it was probably the Royal Ballet, did some amazing videos, didn't they? And one of them was on a canal.
Oh yeah.
The side of it must have been up at King's Cross or somewhere like that.
I think Matthew did the swans there, didn't he?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so beautiful and so creative, and it was, for me, I love the way that people who are creative can make something out of nothing. So one minute you're just walking down the canal, for instance, and have an idea and think, oh, we can't do anything in a theatre at the moment, we're not making any money, really want to have a dance, we can't go inside, weather's good, this would be nice, this graffiti would work well behind. And suddenly there was something beautiful made out of all this
especially
gloom.
because we were in lockdown.
Yeah.
And there was entertainment, but we were outside.
Yeah.
It was joyous.
I think there's going to be a real clamour for being entertained no matter where you are, especially as people can't travel as much at the moment.
And I think people will have anxiety about going out.
Yeah.
There are some that will just want to desperately get back to theatre, and then there'll be people that will I'm not sure but want to go. So, it will be a slow build.
Yeah. So going back to colleges and being a patron, I suppose if somebody has you as their patron of their college, you're a great role model, aren't you, for any college? But what do you do? What does that?
To be a patron, it's to support them, and also try and get other teachers into the colleges, or people in business, like get Gareth in to do music, or they've just got Joe Morris at Birds, did Guys and Dolls with Dan Burton.
Yeah.
So that was, to get people in our business, so they get used to the students, and you never know if they're going to use them. I've used loads of students.
Yeah, and as you say, it gives you the opportunity to see what's up and coming.
And I'm always surprised at the talent, always blown away by, there's somebody that always knocks you out and go, wow, oh yeah. So.
Yes, and somewhere like Bird, I read that it's over 1,000 people will audition for Bird for a year.
Yeah.
And it takes 100?
Yeah, it keeps changing. They've gone up a bit. I mean, yeah, I think there's loads been auditioning for all the colleges.
Yeah.
Which I'm really surprised at, with what's just happened.
Yeah. I suppose it's the optimism, isn't it? And the
Yeah.
fact that everybody feels like this can't go on, lockdown can't be forever, and the arts will out one way or another.
Definitely.
I'm now going back to Bird because I read something fantastic about Doreen Bird,
Oh, did you?
founder of Bird College, that she founded. You probably know this, but I didn't know this. Reading about Bird, that she founded Bird College in 1946 when she was just 18 years old. Did you know that?
Oh no, I didn't.
How extraordinary!
I didn't know she was that young.
Yeah. Wow. Well, yeah, that's on the website for Bird College.
Wow, I didn't know she was.
No, I didn't know. How can that possibly have been? And what drive she must have had to do that?
Yeah, and also when you're that young, do you take people that serious when they're trying to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, because also it was 1946, the year after the Second World War just ended. You just think, how did she do that? But I suppose there was opportunity there to be had, wasn't there? It was just after a calamitous time in people's lives. And in a way, that gives us hope for coming through this. And of course, this isn't like the Second World War, but it is another extraordinary moment in time where people are coming up with these sparks of ideas. Like Doreen Bird was, I'm going to start up a dance school.
Wow.
18 years old. That's also inspirational, isn't it?
Very.
Now, talking of colleges, I didn't know about this until I was doing my homework the other day, but there's the Alliance of Musical Theatre Conservatoires, of which Bird is a member, and there are 5 colleges, aren't there?
Yeah.
And that was set up 2018?
Yeah, it's only been recent.
So what's that all about?
Well, I think it gives them a degree, and I don't know, it's more of a university, isn't it? All the colleges are becoming universities.
Yes.
But I have to say, these colleges, the 5, are very clever the way they've done it. They can do practical work, because a lot of the colleges were not doing as much practical work. They were just doing theory, which is great.
Yeah.
But these colleges have kind of got this great way of doing both and doing the theory as well.
So have they all got together so that they can guarantee a syllabus is going to be a certain way?
Yeah, I think each one plays with it slightly different, but they're more into doing the dance.
Yeah.
Performing, not just dance. What am I saying? Performing. I think it's great to do theory if you want to teach and do that. And I just feel you need to get what you're there to do, to perform. You need to learn your craft. It's great doing the theory work, don't get me wrong. But I just think it's very important that you do what you're there to, supposed to do as well.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because when I was studying, I was classical music. The way that our week was structured was you have time to practice, and you shall practice for 3 hours a day.
Right,
and you will have a singing lesson, one-to-one, once a week, but you will also have 3 coaching lessons with language coaches in singing, 3 separately, each of those. You'd have 3 of those a week, plus opera, plus choir, plus chamber singing. Everything was in there. In between it, we'd be interrupted by theory classes and history. But overall, it was masses of learning your craft. Maybe that isn't so obvious now.
Yeah, you see, a lot of the colleges I used to do 5-6 classes a day as performing classes. And my drama classes, which were fantastic, But then if there was anything else I needed to learn or do a file, I would do it in the evening.
Yes.
So I feel sometimes they miss out of what could be lessons. That's only my one thing, But like I said, these colleges have been very clever of keeping everything going still and still performing and getting all that intact.
It's a great emblem for them to have as well, isn't it? The fact that they have an alliance and they really care. And I think it says a lot for the arts and keeping everything standards strong as well.
Yeah, it is great. And, people want to be teachers as well. So they have to do that, all the theory stuff,
Yeah.
So it's just, I think it's each to their own. I just remember thinking, I've got a doctorate of arts now. If I'd have sat down and written it, I wouldn't be having a doctor of arts, that's for sure. Thank God I got it through. because of my dyslexia, I would never in a million years have managed. Scares the life out of me.
You could have done a practical one. Well, you have
Yeah,
actually.
well, I have. I think that's how I got it.
Yeah.
But thank you for that. But you know, if I'd have had to sit down, at one point you had to, you know.
Yeah. I just find it, I love the fact that people care about performing arts and the way that it's developing through education, and that people are constantly thinking about where's it going now, what can we give people, and what's going to keep this alive and strong. And
Yeah.
I suppose that's...
But like I said, the technique's being taught, acting, singing, the voices are amazing, you know, these instruments people have.
Yeah.
I feel I don't know, it's really good. There's good choreographers coming through the ranks that are amazing.
Yeah.
Good young directors, you know, and it's always, I think it's wonderful to see. And it keeps me on my toes.
You're a dancer.
Just talking musicals with you.